Is this Tulip Mania? I think that's what's going on.
I think so. Right, we're bidding on tulips, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So Tulip Mania, planting tulips. The object of the game is to get the most points.
All right.
The chief way to get points is by planting tulips here in your fields, is by accomplishing objectives that are at the bottom of these cards, and then there will be an objective up here. And then various other little means in and around the place. But those are going to be the chief ways that you score points. Let's start with touring the board. We're right here.
Well, let's.
Kramer track, round the outside.
Yeah.
Round the outside.
Round the outside.
Oh, round the outside.
Thank you 3 times. I listened to it the other day and I was like, oh man, I've only been saying it twice. I messed up.
Yep,
No,
yep.
All right, yeah.
What we have here is this is the big map where your windmills are going to go, the titular windmills. There's a market right here in the center, which is a good place that you will be acquiring your tulips that you'll be planting and planting them as well. Over here, we have the floodgate and the water level. These are going to determine what actions you get to do and whether or not the floodgate will be able to be open or not. We have the trading ship, which is a place you can get rid of tulips that you don't want, that you don't need, and get some stuff in exchange. We have here this card market where you can buy, where you don't need to buy them, you just take them. You just take them.
You come here!
You scruff them. You just grab them by the back of the neck and you just
pick them up.
You press gang them.
Okay.
You voluntold them.
Okay. Yeah.
You voluntold them.
I mean, scruffy your neck, right?
Yeah.
Just pick you up like a cat. Okay, go ahead.
You get these cards. You can pick these cards, and they'll go slot into your player board. We'll cover that in a little bit.
Okay.
And then over here are the upgrades.
Yes.
They will improve your water wheels that you see on our table. This is the calendar. This is our game tracker. As we play the game, these markers are going to move their way forward here, giving people bonuses both up here and down here. And then, like I said, this is an empty objective spot that we will fill once we are done with setup. Yep, something like this is going to go right there, but we will take care of that after setup.
Okay.
Let's move over here to the water wheel.
I so wanted to, like, have you continue?
Yeah, sure.
It's gone. Don't worry about it.
Anomia is a hell of a condition.
Seriously. All right, go.
So these are the water wheels.
Yep.
Each of us has a different configuration of icons in the big one. Mm-hmm. So we don't all start off doing the exact same action.
Okay.
There are 7 actions in the game. One of them is represented by I'm pointing at
There
yours.
you go. There it is.
I thought you were looking at mine.
No, I'm looking at yours. I'm pointing at mine.
This is great. Look,
Go.
live TV. So we've got 7 actions in the game. One of them is represented by all the spots on here, which is to lower the water level by 2. We'll cover what that means in a bit.
Okay.
The other 6 are over here, and as the game moves on, we're going to be turning this, to decide what we get to do on our turns. Let's look at tools for a second. Let's grab a couple of these. These we're going to be able to use. Everyone's going to start the game with one of these, but we're going to be able to use these to increase or decrease how fast these water wheels turn.
Okay.
Let's move to the to our player boards here.
All right, let's here. We'll just move it on down. There you go. Okay.
Is that my point at yours?
Yeah.
Very good. Let me take this.
Oh, look at you go.
Look at me go. We've got this is the field where you'll be planting your tulips. This is the area where you'll be storing them when you take them. And this is the area where the cards that you got off the board will be slotted if you want to use them as helpers, or down here if you want to use them as contracts. And then this is where you're going to keep track of your money. We haven't said it yet because that is also a player order determined thing. Oh, and over here is windmills. When you put windmills on the board up here, when you put them up here, they're going to get taken from the side of your player board.
If you look close, you can see Don Quixote.
I think that's not even... Is that even close to the same region?
No, nor in about 3 centuries off. But whatever, it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Moving on.
Time is a flat circle. It all, everything's happened before.
Right.
That is the tour of all 3 of the main areas of the game. So what do we actually do on our turn?
I don't know. You tell me.
Turn has, let's see, is it 4? I guess technically 4 steps.
Four steps?
Yeah.
They look like that?
Very, very good. So the first thing you're going to do on your turn is open or close, not and. Open or close the floodgate. Okay, looking at that floodgate over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the floodgate starts the game closed down here. On the top of your turn, you're going to decide if you want to leave it there or if you want to move it up, or if it is already up, maybe you want to move it down. Moving it down is always free, but you can move it down as much as you want. Moving it up costs money, but you can also move it up as much as you want, as long as you're willing to pay. It costs 1 money to go from 1 to 2, and it costs 2 money to go from 2 to 3. But when you move it, you're also going to get points. So if you have the money, if you have 3 money, you can go from 1 to 3, and you'll get 4 points for that, and it will bring it all the way up here, just like that.
Deftly maneuvered. Muscled for rank.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fuel burning fast.
On an empty tank.
All right.
So now, what is the implication of setting this?
I was going to ask, but I figured you'd get there. Go ahead.
There's 2 implications here. One is the number on the space that the cube is on is going to determine. Can we even? Oh, right here. Look at this. Is going to determine how many notches your wheel moves.
This is
fantastic.
impressive.
Good stuff, isn't it?
I am impressed, bro.
The other implication is if the cube is right down here, nothing happens to this track right here. But if the cube moves up here, the water level is going to go up by 1, and if the cube is up here, the water level is going to go up by 2. There's other ways for the water level to go up and down, but this is the chief way. Now, the water level going up is really just kind of a eventual wall that this cube will run into. And if it ever would go higher than this, then this has to drop down such that it won't. So if it's the top of your turn and this cube is up here like this, oh, see, I've lost it.
Yeah, but man, it was so good. It was so impressive.
If the cube is up here on your turn and that cube is right there, this has to go all the way back down like that because this can never go higher than 8. If the cube were right here on 7 and the cube were right here, that's still a no-no, and it would have to drop at least to here.
Because it can only go up 1 level.
Yep. Because the water level goes up kind of all at once. It doesn't just like go up 1 and then 1 again.
Sure.
So you have now, it is your turn. You have decided where you want to put this.
Okay, done.
The water level has either stayed put or risen as the result. Now you get to come over to your wheel.
Okay, well.
Oh yeah, let's follow that. Then adjust the water level accordingly, which we just mentioned that we have done. Once you've set this, you've set the water level accordingly. Then you come over here to your wheel. Rotate the wheels on your windmill board a certain number of steps, depending on the current speed. And like we mentioned, the speed is the number in the gray box over here. So either 1, 2, or 3 steps.
Okay.
Now, let's say that is too fast or too slow. That is what I mentioned before. You can spend these tools. You can spend these tools to increase or decrease the speed at which your wheel moves. You can, you can spend as many tools as you want, but the wheel can never move fewer than 1 or more than 4. So if the wheel were to move 1 and you really want it to move 4, you could spend 3 tools to pump it up to 4. If you really want to hasten the end of the game or you just really want to get to some spot on your wheel.
Okay.
So what'll happen is, let's say in this instance, the cube here is at 2. The water level has gone up to 8. Now we're going to rotate this thing 2 spaces. 1,
so
2.
Every red tooth.
Yep, every red tooth. That's right.
Okay.
You are going to then pick one of these 2 things to do. There is a way to be able to pick both, which we'll see in a second. But for now, you just pick one of these 2 things. You do the thing that you pick, and that is the end of your turn.
I pick this.
Can't do that.
Why?
Because it's not being pointed to by an arrow.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. That's your turn. You do the thing, and then you're done. Play goes to the next person.
Done. Yeah, checks out.
Now, let's cover what the things are.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do that. So let's start with the easiest ones first. Let's start with the windmill. So let's say we're doing this action right here. Windmill.
We're doing this action right here, the windmill. My bad. You said you wanted me to pipe in. My bad. My bad. Sorry. Try and do what I was told. I apologize. What do I know?
Windmill. Put a windmill down. Do what I say.
Yes, sir.
Put a windmill down.
Okay.
So windmills, they're with a one single exception. The first windmill of the game is likely going to be put on these spots here that just have little pictures of windmills on them because they are adjacent to this market. That is important. All windmills that get put on the board, there's an exception, but all windmills that get put on the board have to be able to trace a path back to the market through other windmills. They don't have to be yours. They can be other players. If they are through other players, those players are going to get a point.
All right. So
There we
In
go.
this situation.
We start here. That one gets put down there. Great. Everything's great. Later in a future turn, we put that one there. Orange is going to get 1 point.
Woo!
Now, if this were red right here,
You ask, it shall appear.
red will not get a point. You don't get points for tracing through your own windmills.
Okay. And you must trace the shortest path?
Yes, you must trace the shortest path. There is a couple of ways for you to be able to put windmills out in the middle of nowhere. We'll see that when it happens. You pay the cost to be the boss and or to put your windmill down right there.
Okay.
Once you've paid that cost, you put your windmill down and you do everything that spot is pointing to in the order of your choice.
So.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's what you do when you put a windmill down.
And which windmill can you put down? Good sir.
Any one you want. You can pick. You don't have to go top to bottom, and you don't have to take all from a group in order to move to a different group.
Okay.
The reason you would want to put those windmills down, in addition to those bonuses, is that if you clear out a group of windmills, that is going to make that color of tulip worth that many points in your field here.
Got it.
So you clear out all 3 of these here, and each dark purple tulip in your field is going to be worth 3 points. That is windmill. Let's move on to card market. This is a good one.
All right. So contract, card market.
Contract and helper
thing.
card market thing.
Okay.
You can see that little symbol is a person next to a contract, which just shows up over here so that you can see the easy reminder.
Yep.
These cards are free. You just pick one. And that's it. You pick one, and you can see that these cards have fun little art in the middle, and then some ability up on the top, or a contract down on the bottom. When you take the card, you can slot it in the top of your player board. Yeah, right there. Slot it.
Oh.
Right there, and that's going to give you an ability for the whole game.
Okay.
You can discard these if you picked one and you think its ability is stupid. You can get rid of it and replace it with something else, but you probably won't do that.
Or if they're all full.
Or if they're all full. Yep. The first card we get is going to go there, and that's part of setup. And then 1, 2, 3, you're going to get 1, 3, or 6 points for the very first card that you put in each of those slots.
And so if you replace the 6, you don't get 6.
Don't get another
again.
6 points.
That would be broken.
That would be the game. That'd be the whole game.
In Danny, we trust,
Yeah,
right?
we
Yeah. So
definitely trust.
right. All right.
If you don't like these cards, if you think they're all stupid, you can refresh them. And for 1 money, you can refresh them, get rid of them, and put down new ones.
And you can only do that once.
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, we'll look that up.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Let's talk about the next one since we're right there. Let's talk about upgrades. So upgrades are a way of replacing the actions on your wheel. They are, I believe, all of them, strictly better versions of what we have available to us. For instance, instead of just windmill, you could do windmill and get a money. That feels like a better deal.
I mean, as somebody who...
Nope, still 706.
Yep, no, getting money is good. Yeah, I like it. All right, cool.
So
All
these
right.
dark brown ones are free. You can just take one for free. This one costs some money. That one costs 2. Now you might notice that you'll see this little plus symbol. That was
glorious plus symbol.
That was what I was talking about earlier. If you have one of these and you put that, let's put that in there.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll drop it right in here.
It's hot.
Yow! If that action comes up and you have this,
But I
plus
choose
there,
this action.
you can also do this.
What?
Do you want to drop that water level 4 times? You can do that.
All right.
Well,
Or
technically 2 times, twice.
Or maybe.
Yep, that's a
I
good
do
one too.
that.
Or maybe you do that. That's
Okay.
hot.
W always gets a
That's
drop
why I
into.
dropped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have good sense around here around dropping things.
We do.
Let's see. I think I've covered upgrades. Again, if you don't like these, if you think they're too stupid, you can refresh them
Okay.
for 1 money. Let's talk about the next action, the ship. This is the trading ship. If you end up with tulips, which you'll see how, but if you end up with tulips you don't like, that's usually my preferred reason for using the ship.
Stupid tulips.
These tulips are stupid.
Okay.
I don't like them. You can take a tulip and put it in any one of these 4 spots, like that, and you get the stuff that is adjacent to the tulip.
White, didn't you?
There's a reason.
You had to choose white.
Now, here's the catch.
It kills me.
Now, white can't get put onto that card anymore.
Oh,
The next tulip
thank God.
The next tulip that gets put down has to be a different color.
Little pop of color. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right, that looks better. All right, good.
And once this card is full, once the fourth one gets put down and the rewards are collected, the tulips get put back into the supply, the card gets cycled, and the new card comes out.
All right.
Alternately, if you don't want to put a tulip down, if you want to take the tulips from there instead, you can just elect to take the tulips. But you'll never get 4 off of there because, like I said, as soon as the fourth one goes down, they all go away.
So you like 3 tulips
Three
is
tulips,
not terrible.
It's,
Right?
not bad.
Right.
Better than a poke in the eye with a blue finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
would
never
say so.
tried, but I'll take your word for it.
We've got the next action here is planting tulips. What do you do with the tulips that you have? You plant them.
What?
So, in particular, this just gives you 2 planting actions, which means you can plant 2 tulips. And literally, you just take a tulip out of your storage, any tulip, you're not building a queue here, any tulip out of your storage, and you can pick a row and put it in the leftmost empty row.
So I can take any of these.
Yep.
So I say that one, and I want to put it right there.
Yep. Now, any bonus you cover, you get immediately.
So if I then did that,
You get a money.
all right, woo!
Now, I'm going to tell you something. There are
Okay.
3 contracts you can get, and those will get scored at the end of the game.
Huh. So when you grab it by the scruff of the neck,
Yeah.
like a cat,
Yes.
and you don't want to tuck it there.
You tuck it there. Nice tuck.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
So, boy, it's not a patron stream.
No, it's not.
So
Continue.
yeah, so we've got this contract here. Now, if you were to put a tulip right here in that spot, right there.
That one right there?
Let's say that these were up here, and you
Yeah,
were
let's
actually
say that
able to
we're
do
there.
that. Yep.
Okay.
You covered that specific one up. That is the only way that you can score a contract before the end of the game.
So I could score that right now and score exactly 0 points.
Score exactly 0 points.
Right,
I'd
but
recommend that.
theoretically.
But theoretically, yeah.
Sure,
You
yeah,
probably want
I
to
got
wait
you.
for a while before
to cover
covering
that one. Okay.
That's the only. The rest of these are as they look. I just wanted to call that one out in particular because
Okay.
that's a different one. But planting tulips is a chief way of getting points at the end of the game. Like I said, these windmills, if you've cleared out the groups of windmills, you are, yep. So if you've cleared out all of these, you're going to get 2 points for every red tulip and so on and so on and so on. You're also going to get points for filling out rows. If they are all the same color, you'll get more points. If the row is just full, you get a base amount of points.
More points is better.
More points is better. You also get points if you have filled out a column. You'll get, for instance, filling out this whole column will give you 1 point. If and only if no colors are repeated. So having only 3 in here gives you no points. But having, there you go. Having all 4 of a different color is going to give you 1 point. And having, say, a second red in there will give you -5 points.
Womp womp.
Yep, so
in other words, you want a white row, you want a purple row,
Yeah.
you want a yellow row, in a perfect world.
In a perfect world. That is how you plant tulips. Now we're going to go to what I think is probably the most involved step in the game, which is the market.
This little piggy.
This little piggy, as laid out on this wheel, you have to spend 2 money to get 2 market actions, and no more, no fewer.
Okay.
So to do a market action, let's say that the market looks a little something like this.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah.
We're a 4-player game.
Yeah.
Why are there 5 markers in the market?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So we're going to take a market action. Taking a market action means taking your little marker here, your market marker, and you move it along to the next spot clockwise.
That wasn't the next spot. That was the next spot.
Someone's being obtuse.
No. I'm actually trying to give you an opportunity to explain the rules.
That's true.
I'm
This-
sorry.
this
I
is-
was trying to throw you a softball.
That hit me right in the face. You told me to keep my eye on the ball, Dad. So you move the arrow down to the next market and you pick a spot right there, just like that. Then you get to pick one of these things and you get to do that X number of times. In this case, X is 2 because there are 2 markers there. So I would get to say I want 2 yellow tulips. I would pick the yellow tulip action and I get 2 yellow tulips because there's 2 markers there. You don't get to do 1 yellow and 1 purple. You don't get to do 1 yellow and then plant 1 white. You pick the thing and you get the number of that thing.
Okay.
Now, that was 1 market action.
Facts.
I've queued up 2.
You, in fact, have paid for the privilege.
Yep, so now I move to here. That's full.
Oh, no.
Gotta skip over it. Gotta
Okay.
come over here.
Okay.
Once again, I land here. I can pick one of these things and I can do it once. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you can break some of those rules as laid out right here. For 1 money, you can move this neutral marker to anywhere on the board as long as it is a place that you are going to go. So it doesn't have to be... You
hate move it.
Yes, you can't just hate move it.
All right.
As long as it's somewhere that you want to, as long as somewhere you're going to end up going eventually on your turn. That is good because the neutral marker also counts as a spot. So if I end up right here, that's going to be, I'm going to pick this option and I get it twice.
So you could do something to the effect of, it's like this, you paid your $2 to go to
do the market action.
You pay another $1 to do that, and then you do one action there, get one of those 3 times, and then for the second one, get one of those 2 times, and that seems like an efficient use.
It is. You can do this once per turn.
Got it.
So you can't just have this guy following around.
Okay.
The other thing you can do once per turn is pay a money and stack onto someone else. So if I were here and I really wanted to go there, I could pay a money and stack right there.
Awesome. I get...
Still 3.
Okay.
Because the 3 spots are full, and technically you're just standing on someone's head. So that is
Sarah.
that is how the market works. That is going to be your probably your most straightforward way of, as long as you got the cash, your straightforward way of getting these. And astute observers might notice that, for example, white tulip, 2 spots later, plant the white tulip. Yellow tulip, 2 spots later, plant the yellow tulip. It's kind of a thing. It means you're probably not going to be able to pick up a yellow tulip and then immediately plant it in the same market action.
Okay.
We have covered all 6. What do you got? What? Where do what go?
The tulips.
Oh, they go in your storage on your player board. Right there. You probably want to fill it from left to right.
In fact, you have to.
It doesn't strictly matter. You can rearrange them as much as you want, but if you start getting up into the 1 and the 2, you got to pay to take those spots.
So, I mean, you could start there. I
If-
guess
I
that'd be
suppose
a
if you really
bold
wanted
move,
to.
Cotton.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right,
see if it pans
yeah,
out.
right,
So
okay.
now,
And what happens if you're trying to get an 8th tulip?
a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th tulip.
Yep.
There's a button that Edward has, and it ejects you through the ceiling.
Yeah,
Don't do that because there's people.
there are. Okay.
Let's talk about the final action, which is lowering the water level.
Okay.
Now this small wheel is full of that action, but again, you can upgrade that. You can cover it up if you want. Lowering the water level does exactly that. First thing you do is you look at the section that the cube is on, and you pick one of the bonuses to get. You get that bonus, and then you lower the water level the amount that it says. For instance, in this case, 2. Now, that is not per square that you've moved it down. It is, you follow that step. You say, where is the cube? What are the bonuses? Take the bonus, move the cube down that many spaces. Actually, ignore what I just said. You get the bonus once for each level that you lower the water, and you can mix and match. That means in this example that I just gave, lowering it by 2 would give you 4 money, 4 points, or 2 of each, which definitely makes certain upgrade tiles way more interesting. So if you hear us complaining about money, yeah, that's just us playing on hard mode, which is pretty on brand, I guess. Water level can never go above 8, but that water level can certainly bounce off of that 0.
Bing!
Yeah. Now, if I were there and that water level went down twice, I would only get to get that bonus once because, like I said, get the bonus, move the cube. That is it. That's all 7 actions. We're just going to go around and around the table until the end of the game.
And what is the end of the game, good sir?
Every time this water wheel on a player's board goes all the way, there you go, it goes all the way around, back to the red arrow there. Then the player who just did that, before the end of their turn, has to move their calendar marker up 1 space, get the bonus in that space, get one of the bonuses below, and we will then mark it to show that nobody else can get it.
That looks a whole lot like votes for... no, it's not, actually.
That's a vote for Windmill.
Yeah. Well played, you, sir.
Nice. So someone will, whoever does that will move their marker up. They will get this bonus. They will pick one of the bonuses from here. I'll cover that up. Eventually, someone's going to move into the final spot. They're going to claim that bonus. They're going to claim one of these. And then we're going to play out the rest of the round so that everyone has the same number of turns. We are going to all get 1 more turn. And that is the end of the game.
And then we go into final scoring.
Final scoring is very simple. Score your contracts, score your field, your row and column bonuses, and score your individual tulips. Add that to whatever score you've been running this whole time. Whoever has the most wins.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
Sorry, didn't mean to hit you in the face with the softball. Sorry about that.
You were throwing it overhand.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
And he told them we were playing soccer.
Right. Hey, thanks for watching, y'all. Hopefully watching was as enjoyable for y'all as it was for us making it. And if so, then maybe look right above my head, like and subscribe, that helps. Maybe watch one of those other videos. Consider supporting us over on Patreon. All of those things really do help the channel. Thanks, y'all.